Welcome to Shaky Sports Journeys. Continuing with the T20 World Cup content. It's been fantastic to get insights from different players in the Scotland camp, as well as other players from other areas in the world today. But today I've managed to pull together two gentlemen who have just masterminded something very special by Scottish cricket and getting through to the Super 12s. I'm talking about the current coach, Mr. Shane Berger, and the current captain, Mr. Coetzer. How are you, gentlemen?
Oh, very good, thanks, Shaky.
Great to have you.
Very good, thanks, Shaky. And yeah, obviously great to be on, and it's good to see quite a few of the lads have been on the show. They've thoroughly enjoyed it. And we're just enjoying a couple of days off after what was a very, very special week for Scottish cricket.
Unbelievable. It started with that Bangladesh game, and from there you never looked back. But it showed me that you guys went into that game believing that you could win. Would that be fair in saying, Coach?
Yeah, definitely, Shaky. It's something we haven't just spoken about for the last week or even a couple of months leading into it. It's been longer than that. The boys have worked incredibly hard for 18 to 24 months now throughout the pandemic. So there's been a longer term vision in terms of where this has come from. The leadership has been excellent. Someone like Carl has really his input and from himself and all the players. It's been a long time in the making, really. And it's just great to see that, all the messages you get from people and everything, that it's all worthwhile, to make people happy, to see them proud of this team is probably the ultimate compliment they could ever give to us. And that's one of the reasons we do what we do.
Brilliant, exactly. You're inspiring. You don't even realise probably the power. I'm sure you're starting to realise with the power on social media how much of an inspiration that you are out there right now. And I'm sure so many people that have never really watched cricket before in Scotland all of a sudden are going to be tuning in and taking interest in what you're doing. Mr. Meergoose, you got some teammate at your disposal. I mean, you've played for Scotland forever now. You've played in lots of different teams. You can tell by your bald head. When I met you, you had a big boof on your head when we were about 12, 13 years old. But you've got so many different players that are all putting their hand up. I mean, in every game, somebody else came to the party. That must be a great feeling.
Yeah, of course it is. There's so much confidence and belief amongst our group that it's a real special environment to be in. Whoever is taking part at any phase of that game, I can look around and the guys know what they're going to be doing, so there's no one moment that sometimes we can call out the different shots our batsmen are going to play, and you can see what the bowlers are thinking. So there's a real togetherness amongst the squad at the moment. And, we've had that in the past without a doubt, but just the way things sit currently is there's a lot of calmness amongst the group, and the guys are willing to enjoy themselves at the same time. But having the mixture of skills that we have throughout, and not forgetting to mention the likes of people like Mark Watt and Richard Berrington, who have been absolutely outstanding in this competition. And it's no surprise that they have, because we all know that these guys are capable cricketers, very good cricketers. But these guys are putting in consistent performances for us, which are really putting us in a good position. And I think there's still plenty left in the tank from a number of guys yet, but the guys are playing some really exciting and dangerous cricket. So we've got a lot to look forward to.
Now, against Papua New Guinea and Oman, I think you were pretty comfortable in both of those games. The Oman game in particular, high pressured game, to go out there and do that was just incredible, the way you dealt with that game. But one moment and one partnership that strikes me as one of the most important part of those three games was Chris Greaves coming together with Mark Watt at 53 for 6. Now, you talk about shots, Kyle, but Shane, could you have predicted the boy could hit that shot? I mean, I've talked about it a few times. That shot by Chris Greaves is going to get played, I think, moving forward as well. What an incredible shot.
Yeah, it just shows that the talent and the skill of this group, Shaky. You can go into training and train for shots like that for your whole career and never pull them off when the moment like that arrives. It's just great that it did work out for Chris on that evening, and it's
it's testament to him who's only now played a handful of international matches and has been put under that sort of pressure. To see him pull it out at that moment when we really needed it it just shows you the character. And for me, character is what has really built this team. The characters on show, and Carl speaks about a belief and a calmness. There's a real character, a calmness and a belief within the group. And for Chris to pull that out when he did was great. But I have no doubt that, don't underestimate the impact Mark Watt played in that partnership, just the calmness he brought at that time, which allowed Chris to play the way that he did. And that's resonated throughout the whole group. It's been great to see in every single one of those games, Shaky, that various people have made impacts within the game. Yes, there's been common denominators in a Richie Berrington and a Mark Watt throughout. And great to see the skipper put his hand up in the last game and Chris in the first game and various others. And that's what this team is about. It's not just about one or two individuals. It's about every single person putting their hands up when required.
Absolutely, and it's great to hear. Something just to add on that, the environment that you've created, and I've spoken to pretty much most of the boys since you've been at this World Cup. Now, I'll be honest and say this, previously, going away with squads or anything, you weren't really encouraged to speak to anybody too much. There was the media stuff, but it was kind of like, we need to be really careful and keep it kind of in our own bubble, for instance. You're quite relaxed about that, Shane, and I think it gives a fantastic insight. I'm so humbled and appreciative that you give me that opportunity to speak to the guys. But every time I speak to one of them, they come across so relaxed, confident. They look like they're comfortable in their skin. That's something that's very important to you and the skipper.
Yeah, Shaky, look, and that's a massive compliment, and thanks for that. But for me, this group has always had that. There's some fantastic characters in this group. It's something that we have in abundance, is characters, and why not let it out? We're just normal human beings that just play an amazing game, and without the spirit that we currently have, would we have achieved what we had achieved in this tournament? Probably not. Maybe we wouldn't have handled those pressure situations as well as we have. So really good to see the maturity of the squad and just the way that they've handled themselves and managed themselves, and that's also testament to the leadership within this group. There's quite a few players now that have played for a long period of time, and they steer this group very, very well. Discipline comes from within, Shaky. It doesn't come from necessarily just the top. So that's something we've spoken about quite a bit, and it's great that the guys are open and they can really just tell the true story of what's happening.
It's amazing. It really is. It's awesome. I love that.
Shaky,
I'm going to come to you. I'm going to come to you now, Mister. I'm going to call you my wee soldier because you hurt your wee finger. And you look like I thought you'd been taken out by a sniper or something like that. Every time you hit a shot, you were like, Ugh! So, but talk to us. What happened there?
Yeah, I just basically got a bang in the finger, really, Shaky. That's all it is. You pick these up as you go, and you're always playing with something that's a little bit painful. But yeah, that was one of the top end painful hits I've had, I reckon, for a little while, and that was pretty bad, but it was okay. Look, nothing was going to stop me on that day to make sure we got over the line and did for everything that I could do to help us get over the line too. But yeah, all's good.
Glad to hear it. You went into that game under a bit of pressure. There's no doubt about it. You're one of the top performing batsmen you have been for many, many years. But you were a little bit short of runs in the initial stages of the World Cup. But the way you struck the ball, some of the shots you played, there's no issue with Coetzer as far as I'm concerned. You're still a top batsman, leading player. Your confidence must have picked up now going into the Super 12s.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I've actually felt the last couple of weeks that I'm starting to strike the ball better than I have done for the last couple of years. In the last couple of years, I've still scored plenty of runs. So you've just got to keep trusting your own game, trusting the pitch that's in front of you, getting the backing from your teammates and people around you, which is also important. But you can't just all of a sudden start questioning yourself, and it's easy to do that as a cricketer. But and these are the things you don't really see that go on behind the scenes. Is people are working hard, and people are continually trying to improve their game, which every one of our guys are. And sometimes sometimes things just don't go the way you hope they would for you, but you have to keep that belief that it's going to come right. And yeah, there's certainly that. And I've got so much backing amongst this group and people back at home and whatnot. Look, it's just one of these things you have to deal with as a player, and yeah, you get through it and you keep the faith. It'll come good and it'll repay you.
Great to hear, Skipper. Listen, the dust is settled now. You've achieved some great things, but I certainly am looking at this team, this squad, and thinking there's so much more that you can still achieve. So, coach, I take it you've had a bit of fun. Seen some great pictures, by the way. All the boys looking great together. All your backroom staff, everyone looked buzzing. But is it now a matter of, right, let's look forward? You've got a massive game on Monday against Afghanistan.
Yeah, Shaki, it's no secret that, even before this tournament, we spoke about doing something special. And why not? We're not in this tournament to make up the numbers. We're here to show the world what this fantastic group of players can do. We've beaten Afghanistan before. We've beaten Namibia before. You get on a bit of a run, you get a bit of momentum going, and then all of a sudden you hit New Zealand, India, and Pakistan at the end. Anything can happen in this game, as you well know. So it's T20 cricket. One or two lads have the game of their lives, and all of a sudden you're knocking on the door. So we truly do believe that we can do that. Every one of these 17 players that are here with us now, we know they can go in and make an impact. And that belief runs right through the squad. So, look, we're excited. We're also very, very humble and need to keep our feet on the ground and make sure that we still work hard and keep, keep the spirits up. But look, we have a fantastic opportunity ahead of us, and we're going to try grab it with both hands, that's for sure.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Skipper, you've been on the big stage. You've been in 2015 World Cup. You recently played against England in 2018. You've played in lots of competitions. You've got lots of experience. You're going into these 5 games. Are the first 2, do you see them as the most important games? And then after that, we've just got no fear. We're going to go and take these giants on. But I think the first 2 games in your mind are probably extremely crucial.
Shaky, actually, the funny thing is, out of all that stuff that you said that I've played and all the different competitions around the world, these 5 games are the least amount of pressure I think we're ever going to have. Out of all those games that I've played in, all those competitions, we actually get a chance to play games with very little pressure. We get to play games, enjoy them, let all of our skills out, leave everything out in the park. Because ultimately now, as far as I'm concerned, these games, there isn't any pressure involved in them, but we still want to perform. That's very, very clear. We want to perform and push as far as we possibly can in this competition. Those first 2 games to that, we win those, then we might start feeling a little bit more pressure, because then, there's some real dreams potentially on the horizon, but we have to take one game at a time. I know it's a cliche and we always say it, but we have to take one game at a time. Let's play these games, enjoy them. There's so much skill and belief and excitement amongst this group that we could do anything in this tournament. But let's get past those first couple first, and then we'll maybe start seeing a little added pressure. But it's nice, actually. It's really refreshing being in a situation where we've done so well that now it's just about expressing ourselves and having fun.
I seen a lovely picture, head to head against Virat Kohli, your bald head and Virat Kohli next to you. Like, that's the stuff dreams are made of, mate. You're going toe to toe with one of the biggest cricketing nations in the world. Their fan base, everything is just, these guys are all probably multi-millionaires as well. You have really no right to be competing with them. But what's your thoughts on that? Is it more of, are you excited to be taking on that opportunity?
Yeah, look, you've still got to remember that they're just a person like you. And, obviously their fame levels are probably, or massively above where some of our guys are, but you've still got to remember that they're going out there to try and score their runs or take their wickets, etc., etc. But that picture that came up was a little bit of like, wow, this is actually happening. I think someone mentioned the other day, Virat Kohli might be like the 3rd most richest
Like Ronaldo. He's like
person or
Ronaldo
something
level.
like that. Yeah, like he's a massive icon, isn't he? And to sort of stick my old napper next to him is a bit interesting. But yeah, we've got a bit of fun, and obviously, as you've seen, Mark Watt's got his plans ready to go against Virat. You know, there's a bit of tongue.
That's great.
Plenty tongue in cheek in there, wasn't it? Because Chris Soul was obviously the one asking the questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I don't think people who have seen the clip have maybe grasped that it was quite tongue in cheek at the time, but it was guys
taking it. Yeah, the Indian fans will be taking it, I'd imagine, as kind of, oh, he's calling out our best player. But I know Mark Watt. I know what Chris Soul was doing there when I'm listening to him. He's baited him in. He was smiling about it. It was very tongue in cheek. I certainly got that. But listen, why not? Why not, Mark Watt, going to get Virat Kohli's wicket? You can keep that in your pocket for the rest of your days and tell the grandkids about it as well. So look, why not?
Just imagine Michael Lease gets that wicket. Imagine the laps he's going to run around the field.
I think he would fairly celebrate. I think it'd be an Imran Tahir style celebration if he gets it. Good luck to him. Why not? Least go and get the wicket. Shane, very young as a coach. To me, you still look like you could be easily playing. And, you know, since I spoke to you a couple of years, we've known each other now for almost a couple of years now. Ever since the first time I spoke to you, I was just like, this guy looks so young, man. But I've been watching you on TV. I've nicknamed you over the WhatsApp there as the Iceman. You are calm and collected, even in the high-pressure situations. How do you do that?
Shaky, again, it's you're just giving me too many compliments today. It's look, I think it's so important that firstly, age doesn't determine anything in life. I'm a true believer that you know, you can achieve anything at any age, and you know, and go out and achieve your dreams. It doesn't matter, you know, where you are, where you come from, what age, you know, what race you are, whether you're male, female. Nowadays, you've got opportunities to do everything, and I think that's wonderful. Mr. Iceman, I suppose it's nice to give that impression. It certainly doesn't feel like that sometimes inside. The best way
next to Righty. He's the most emotional guy. I've been watching him. He's like, doing all of this.
Yeah, so I've got to keep the calm my side and just manage those expectations. But it's like when you're on top of the ocean, it's kind of like there's quite a lot going on, and then when you dip your head in, there's just this absolute calm. And what I've tried to do is play a lot of the games and the scenarios out of my mind beforehand. And look, the biggest compliment I can give to this group, Shaky, is the reason I'm so calm is because I believe in every single one of them. I know that all the hard work that has gone in. The lads are really clear and they have clarity in what they want to do. And that belief goes into everything we're doing. And look, I have always been pretty calm. You know, it doesn't help shouting and ranting sometimes from the side when you know that they've got it and you've got a really good leadership group around just to also manage those excitement levels. As the skip says, a few of our lads tend to get quite excited, which is great. And there's a lot of expectation on this group. We know that, but they've handled it with absolute distinction. And yep, I'll continue to be calm. Don't worry.
I look forward to seeing it. Even when you come up against India, you need 20 to win. You're 8 down. If you're still sitting cool, mate, I will be applauding you from afar. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I just want to say from my part, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of everybody in Scotland, super proud of you, super proud of all the boys. You know, I could see the emotion in Richard Berrington when he hit that winning 6, for instance. I felt like I was living it with him, you know, and I know what would have been going through his mind at the time when he looked up to the skies. I'm sure to remember his great friend, the late Con Delanga. And then when he got to the boys and he was all hugged and embraced, it was bringing so much positive energy. And I just want to wish you all the very best moving forward. Believe, you said it in a press conference, Shane, I want the boys to dream big, and they are, and they're going with your backing. Listen, go and take a couple of these giants down. I would prefer maybe if you beat everybody and let Pakistan go through with you, because, you know, I've got a little bit of love for Pakistan as well, as Shane will have a little bit of love for South Africa. But listen, no, when they come up against them, I'm sure it'll be another cracking fixture. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a real pleasure.
Cheers, Shaky.
Brilliant, Shaky. Thank you very much. Keep that support going. We love it.
Listen, always, all the way to the final, my friend.